Slathe the Space Marine here. That's me. That is me. You can see me apparently in the shadows that I cast on this piece right here. That's me, representing that Shadow Legion. I hope everyone's having a good day, whether they are joining me in the stream or if they are joining in on the VOD after the fact. That you had a good day and found your way here. We're just gonna be setting up a little bit here, getting everything we need. Kind of start without needing to get up or get anything. Just have everything all ready and accessible. So we'll be right back. Hey, Curry. Nice to see you in the chat there. We'll be starting pretty soon. Just getting myself a cup of coffee. Making sure that I would have had everything and anything that I need before getting into this. Although, now that being said, I'm sure that I'm going to walk into this and be like, you know, I did need that last thing, didn't I? Brother Marines. We've returned again today, on this day. Hello. This is the day of which that we have returned. Today. This day. Tuesday. This Tuesday. Not any other Tuesday. Not 22nd day, because that's not Tuesday. Neither is 12's day. It's gotta be Tuesday. Divisible by 1 and or 2. Or 0.5. 0.5's day. Half's day. Tony, the moment that I start, you're like, I'm gonna get a cookie now, right? Well, no, I've got your camera. You don't get any cookies. You don't get any cookies. None. You get none. You get 0 cookies for Tony. I know. You look real sad right now. Where's the cookies for Tony? What a monster. Not giving Tony cookies. Well, I present to you this. What we have here is Tony in magic card form. Or are you looking up here? What are you looking at? What are you looking at, bud? Are you gonna start tearing everything down now because you didn't get a cookie? Destroy the system! Right? Like, that's pretty well what he's doing. Okay, fine. What do you do?
We'll get you a cookie. Are you gonna come here and take it? Come and take it from me. Come on, Tony. Get a Slathe card? Come here, Tony. Want a cookie? Alright, you can have them over here in privacy, but you be good. You start acting up. Oh. We'll get angry, Slathe. Slathe will be a red card with all of the burn. Alright. Oh, to Abby. Okay. If I try to give you one, you know that Tony's gonna try to steal it from you, right? And then you're gonna get none, and he's gonna get double? Okay, we'll figure it out, Abby. Here, come on. Come this way. Come over to the table. Come over to the little cat table. Knock everything over along the way. Okay, and these are for Abby. Not for Tony, no. Tony already had his. Or I've got to swoop in and, like, guard her from having her treats taken by Cookie Monster over here. It's not right. It's not right. That's all I'm trying to say here. So, we're gonna be working a little bit more tonight than on other nights, just because tonight was a bit of an interesting night where I ended up taking the day off so I could go do a doctor's appointment because I was getting a bit concerned about my tummy grumblies. So, in case anyone's wondering, bill of good health. Bill of good health. Apparently what is it? There was something that was a bit high. He said it was normally it's at 110 for people, but it's at 114 for you, and it was like something. It was something. I forget what it was. Something, your liver makes it. So, yeah, maybe we'll stick off of that. So I ended up, instead working in the evening, so it pushed my evening a little bit back further than normal. So hence why I'm starting now, rather than several hours ago. But that's just the nature of the beast, is it not? Oh, we got some bloodhounds in the chat here. Blood pressure? No, it wasn't blood pressure. It was... I wanted to say it was something that sounded like creatine. Creatine? Something like that. You know, when at one point, Curry, we'll be able to get more of those, more emojis. What do you have to do? Like, hobby-wise? Hobby-wise? I hope you mean hobby-wise, because because, like, whatever I was told today when I went to the doctor-wise, nothing. Maybe drink some more water. Drink some more just clean, clear water. And less coffee. Fuck it. Water. Okay, that's what I need to do. So maybe I'll fill all these rum bottles with water. Again. So that way I can have water. Hobby-wise. Well, today... Here's what we're working on today. We're gonna revitalize all the silvers on, like, all of these that I had done before with the dry brush. But now I'm kind of thinking I'm going to go over them again with a little bit more of a wet brush. And hopefully they're going to get a little bit of that metallic sparkle, that zest that they didn't have. Other parts like this, there's just some little things that I forgot to do, like this thing and then the same thing on the other side. And then... if I can get to it, and if I figure out how I'm going to want to do it, then we're going to apply some of this much brighter metallic silver. Rune Fang Steel. Ooh, it's not focusing. Oh, wait, there we go. Runefang Steel, available from the Citadel Layer range from Games Workshop / Warhammer brand stores and/or online availability. Pre-order now. That's right, pre-order now. Pre-order now. Pre-order now. On warhammercommunity.com+. That's what I gotta say. For things like this piece, I really just have to give them just like a little hit with silver, kind of like in this area. There were some spots that they got kind of missed, so if I can just kind of give them a once-over, they should be good. And then other parts like this where, like I said, where it just kind of turned out... Oh, is it going to focus? It just kind of turned out really dull in the final result, I want to say. Like, it looks slightly shiny on camera, but it looks really dull. It's almost like, I almost want to say like pencil crayon silver. So almost like a pencil, just like graphite. So it's really dull, so I might want to just hit it once again with the silver, hit it with the brighter silver, and then we'll see where we go from there. At this point, there's not going to be a lot of stuff on the outside, really. Unless I just kind of notice things last minute. Oh, I gotta change this. I gotta change that. Things are getting to a point where it's getting pretty close that this thing might be able to just start getting put together. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with the missiles that go on the wing. Because I'm gonna want them to look some certain way across the across the width of this thing. I'm gonna have figure out some kind of uniform look for it. I don't think I've ever had missiles like that on any of the vehicles. The only missiles I've had, which have been in maybe like the missile launcher Marines and Dreadnought and stuff like that, where all you get to see is the little tip of the missile coming out, right? So for this one, I need to figure out exactly what I'm doing there, right? Is pretty well the that's pretty well the story, right? So, Curry, that's what I have to do, hobby-wise. I hope you appreciate that answer, as much as I appreciated giving it, in all the clarity that it was. I hope you appreciate it. Why is YouTube being weird again and saying 0 people? Curry, why does this do this with you all the time? And then I swear it treats it as such, and I don't know why. It treats it like there's 0 people. It's weird. It says 1 for me. It says 0 for me. This is wrong. YouTube, you're getting it wrong. YouTube, you're trying to keep the little man down. YouTube, you're trying to demotivate people. Pump those hundreds. Pump those hundreds, Curry. I want to see some 100 hearts. 100 hearts. Don't stop till there's at least 100 of them. Okay. So, that's pretty much the plan. Fix up the silvers. On pieces like the engines here, there's going to be these parts at the back that I'm probably just going to want to very carefully just kind of go over them a little bit. And then just kind of fix up what I was doing with the metallics there. So I'm not going to go crazy with the metallics on this. It's just going to be these little strips. Which kind of look like they kind of look like they're like hydraulics or something. Maybe the jets are able to move, kind of pivot. Kind of rotate a little bit, pivot. That's how I'm imagining it. When I'm looking at these things going, oh, that looks like a thing I recognize in real life, but what does that do, and how does that work? Well, you see, with a little bit of application of imagination, then you can discover what it is that it does by just making it up. That's pretty much what they did. So, if you want to be just like Games Workshop, just look at something, think it looks cool, and then go, this is what that is, and just make something the fuck up. Just like Games Workshop. That's right. If you don't know what a zygote is, well, Warhammer 40k is not going to help you. So, Brother Marines. Brother Marines. Okay. You know, but sometimes that viewer count's been funny in the opposite way, too. It's been weird in the opposite way, too. Where there was one time, I think it was a couple days ago, when some people joined into the stream, and then I swear it went like 7, and then it said like 11 people, and I was like, wait, no way, this is impossible. There's no way that there's 11 people here. This doesn't happen. This doesn't happen on a Slathe the Space Marine stream. And then I looked at the analytics after, and indeed, at no point during it did it ever say concurrently 11 people. So, this number that it shows me is a lie. Everything you have been told is a lie, Brother Marines. Okay, can I get this thing open? This packaging is the worst. So, that's pretty well the plan here. Is just to fix up all these silvers, and then to give them like a little bit of a highlight, so that way they're going to be a little bit brighter and a little bit shinier. So that way also when they get hit by a dark wash later on down this whole process, because they're brighter, when they get darkened, they're still going to be in that middle zone, and they're still going to have this nice metallic quality where they're going to look nice and shiny and metal. And the details aren't going to get sort of like bogged down by the shadows sort of thing. I'm going to want some shadows on this thing to go into the crevices and onto some of the edges and things. But I'm probably also going to be wanting to do some type of highlighting, which is something I don't normally do on figures. I don't normally go out of my way to highlight, because I find highlighting with certain colors becomes a bit of a challenge, especially with red and black, because with black, you start highlighting with a certain gray, and then suddenly the model doesn't really look black anymore. It just kind of looks like it's kind of worn and gray all over the place. And with red, you either go with the orange highlight, or you go with like a pink highlight, and neither of those really sound satisfying. So it's always kind of difficult, I find, with the colors that I have, to pick an appropriate highlight color. None of it ever really looks right. So we'll see what I do with that. If I just darken it, and then at one point I'll just take the same red, and then highlight Mephiston red with Mephiston red, bearing in mind that it's going to be shaded Mephiston red that'll get hit by, like, Agrax Earthshade or something similar. Agrax Earthshade probably is most likely because I have a bunch of it. Which Agrax Earthshade I have, I don't know, and I couldn't tell you. If it's the old one, if it's the new shiny one that people don't like, I don't know. I just have pots of it. That's all I really know. And some of them I got from, like, paint sets. So, unless they're, like, ripping those things open and putting in the new stuff, or, you know, if those things have been on the shelf for a while, I imagine I have the old Agrax Earthshade, which people love more than they love Sam Jackson. And then there's the new Agrax Earthshade, and people hate that nearly as much as people hate the Acolyte. Fortunately, though, or unfortunately, at least one of those things that people don't like isn't available anymore. Some people would probably hope for maybe both, but that isn't the world we live in, is it? No siree, Bob. That is not the world that we live in. Okay, so let's get the AC on, because it is, like, oddly warm in here, while also not being super hot. It's got that, like, It's got that, like, I've been semi-microwaved in the middle sort of feel. And then let's get to this. So let's also do the right thing. Let's share a link to this stream. Let's just share it around a little bit. Why not? Doesn't hurt. Bring it to a couple places. You know, I know a couple places. I know some people. I got some connections. And drop this shit down. We'll just drop one of these right here. Bam. Self-promotion. That's an okay place to do it, I think. Community promotion. There we go. Let's just drop some of these streams around. Let's really spread it. Let's get it nice and wet and spreadable. We'll leave the Slathe alone for now, considering pretty much it was just there. Okay. I think I'm allowed to do it in here. I think so. If I'm not, well, Kalini, let me know. There we go, name drop. Go check out Kalini on Twitch. Amazing painter, uses pigments. These really neat sort of like neon light looking models by the end of it. So yeah, definitely go check out Kalini. But Slathe, that doesn't make any sense. How are we supposed to check out Kalini on Twitch? We're on YouTube. You're right. That's a good point. I don't know. Okay. So what do we got here? Let's see. What are we going to do first? Well, we're going to use our bolt gun metal, or whatever it's called. What's it called now? Lead Belcher. Excuse me. Give it a little bit of a ghost wank. And then looking at these... Yeah, so these I'm just going to try to give them just like a light once-over. I'm not going to need to go super even with all these, as long as I just give it a light once-over, all these things. And if I don't kind of ruin what I've already kind of set up, because some of it, I want to say, like, it's missed in, like, a lot of the good spots. The only thing it's really missing that I would want it to have is that sparkle that the metallic paint normally has. And I just want to say, like, I just don't feel like it's there. Like, if I put this next to this... I don't know, maybe. Maybe it's there. We'll see. I swear it did some help on one of the other pieces. I forget which one it was. But we'll just give it just like a quick once-over with this. We'll give it just like a little bit of a Haktua with the bolt gun metal. It's not called that. With the lead belcher. And then we'll give it the brighter metal silver one after. That's the technical name for it. Brighter metal silver. Make sure to pre-order it on Games Workshop now. We'll give that a shake. And then we got lots of pallets, so we're fine on that one. But this is going to go by really quickly, because this is going to be a really simple process. So there, depending on by the time I get to the end of this task, there might be something else to do, and I'm just going to have to figure it out what it is at that point. I don't really have, like, the next step planned out. So that I don't really know quite yet what it is that I'd be doing. It very easily could be we could start on like the cockpit, right? And we could start on like the chairs or something like that, start adding in some different colors. That could be neat. That could start making things look a little bit more alive, right? That's my thoughts on this. That's my thoughts on this. That's what I'm thinking. Well, let's see. Do we got everything all good? Ultra low latency. Unlist live replay once stream ends. Oh wow, I could do that, couldn't I? I really could. I could do that the whole way. Alright, let's see. What do we got here? Edit? What am I editing? Customization. Who can send messages? Subscribers only? Or members only? Ooh, do I make this into a members only thing? Where only members are allowed to comment in the chat during the hobby streams? I don't know. We could see. You know what we'll do? We'll put a poll up. That's what we'll do. We'll start a poll. Should the chat be subscribers? Subscribers. Subscribers only. Or members only. Oh, it didn't want to do that. There we go. We'll add... There we go. We'll put that poll there in the chat. Just let that sit there. Just let that sit there so people can either cope and seethe. And then they get hit by the sting. Oh, what do you mean I can't comment? What do you mean? Well. Seems pretty simple to me. Seems pretty simple to me, bruv. So there, we'll put that poll up. We'll have that sit there. We'll get some more shakeage on this one. So I'm gonna need to keep shaking this. Gotta make sure I give that ghost like the serious work for its money. You are gonna finish soon, though, right? Right? Okay. It's nice to be polite and to ask. Makes them feel special. Okay, now I'm gonna need to refresh everything. Because Streamlabs is saying one thing, YouTube's saying another thing. This is why people have trust issues. Right? This is why people have trust issues. Because they look at what it says on YouTube, and then they look at what it says on Streamlabs, and they look it all over, and it's like, well, wait a second. How many people are here right now? Right? It says 0 for like several minutes, and Curry's like, but I'm right here. I don't get it. And then suddenly it's like, there's 11 people. Oh, we've got our first vote into the poll there. Welcome to the stream, Omesta. Good to see you. Thank you for the Crusade helmet. We're on a crusade, Omesta. We're on a crusade for the Holy Emperor. Let the people speak. it was fun to play around with for a little bit, where it was like, subscribers only. And I mean, subscribers only is not even that bad, because I set it to like 5 minutes. So if they wanted to be in chat, all they'd have to do is tick the little button and wait 5 minutes, and then they could squawk their box off, sort of thing, to their heart's content. Until YouTube goes, you're spamming. You know? So, but okay. We will, I love democracy, the voice of the people, and I love the Republic. And when this crisis is over, my emergency powers will be mine forever. So, okay. Let's get this all shaken up here. This is just gonna be a quick job of going over all these parts here with the gunmetal, I keep calling it that, with the lead belcher, which is effectively like a gunmetal sort of paint. I want to say, I would compare it to bolt gun metal from back in the day. And it's just that, like, right level of greasy, sort of, not greasy, but it's dark, charcoal-like? No. I'd want to say it's kind of more like the color of graphite, like when you use a pencil and you fill something in, and it looks metallic, because, I mean, it's graphite, so I guess that's some kind of stone or metal or something. I don't know. It's made it... People just call it lead, even though it's graphite. So... Wait a sec. Oh, what's up? What are we waiting for, Omesta? Okay, I'll slow the roll. I'll slow the roll. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen here. Okay. Let's get this all shaken up. And then which one are we using today? I think we'll probably want to use the ever so slightly wider brush, I think. That'll probably be fine. Oh, that was a response to keeping your emergency powers? Oh, okay. Fair enough. I may have missed it. I have the latency on pretty low on these streams. So generally, like, let's say I'm just gonna test, I'm just gonna do a time test here. Okay? So time test. I'm gonna raise my right hand, and then I'm gonna start counting. But when I stop with my hand up, I'm gonna start counting, and then the moment that I'm on my own screen, on my own internet, which is gonna be going out and then coming back in. So if you think about it like plumbing, even though I'm sure it's gonna be a little bit of more latency the further we are across the world, but if we're in the same time zone, there's probably pretty good chances that it's gonna be okay. So, let's do this test. Why not? What's wrong with the test? Alright, so, 1, 2, 3 seconds. Took me 3 seconds for it to see there. So that's roughly the latency. So I'm gonna blame that on I must have missed on the timing. I must have not looked at the right time. It's on me. Oh, my failings. I thought I was a professional streamer. You know, isn't it kind of weird that technically, I can say that, right? Technically. Right now I am professional streamer. You see, here is me doing professional stream with most profession. I am very profession at stream. I do stream in the way professional do stream. You, oh mister, also do stream way professional do stream. Professional streamer union unite in forces against the evil forces of evil. The evil forces of evil. Sometimes I just laugh at the absurdity of the things that come out of my mouth. You know, so I'm sure that many of you do too at home. I'm sure that becomes many the grinful moment in the day where it's like, hey, listen to this thing that this guy said. It's so fucking stupid. Well, what did he say? I don't know. He was talking in some weird, goofy accent. Okay, well, let's check this out. Wow, that guy is really weird. Yeah, isn't it great? Yes, I oddly want to watch more. Oh, there's tons of it. Okay. That just reminded me of of the Evil League of Evil from Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. Dr. Horrible, that's the one with Neil Patrick Harris, right? I believe. It's been a while since I have seen... And Nathan Fillion? Okay. I know, because there was this other one that somebody tried to show me at one point. And it reminded me a lot of it, although the tone was very different. And it was like some kind of body harvesters or something. It was like there was like this drug dealer. It was a musical sort of thing, just the same. But there was like this body part drug dealer that would like chop off body parts and give you new body parts. And everybody had like neon green hair and looked like somebody like straight out of Compton. No, straight out of, I forget what it is. It's like something body horror or something, right? Like it's like I made it sound probably so much darker than it really is or whatever, cuz it's like a musical. So, even thinking about musical horrors like Little Shop of Horrors, which is probably the absolute first that I would come to mind with. I forget where I was going with that. I just kind of started just thinking of Little Shop of Horrors, Little Shop. I'm sure at some point, because of how much I've been mentioning it, people are going to be like, Slathe, what the hell is Little Shop of Horrors? And I'm going to be like, it's this movie. It's this movie. It's great. It's got Rick Moranis, and it's got like this like plant in it, and then people will be like, no, there is no movie called Little Shop of Horrors. And then I'll look up and I'll be like, what's going on here? And then like Rick Moranis will be sitting there with Sinbad, and they'll be like, there is no Little Shop of Horrors, and there is no Shazam movie where I'm a genie. And I'm just sitting there like, and then I'm like looking through like a library, right? I'm looking through a library and tearing it through it, and then I find the book and I look at it, and then I gasp and I drop the book. And then I run out of the library, like, screaming. And then somebody picks up the book, and they're like, oh, what's wrong? I don't know. He picked up this Bernstern Burrs book and just ran out of here screaming. And it was just, you know, I saw it live at this fancy opera home. That's a deep cut there. If you even get what Bernstern Burrs would even be referring to. Top notch to you on your weird Mandela effect memories that people have. If not, you might want to look up the Mandela effect and the Berenstain Bears. Or the Berenstein Bears, depending on which universe you're from. That's how it works. That's right. That's the way it works. These are facts. The old Bernstern Burrs effect. Effect. Oh my god. It's rippling. It's rippling. It's like the spaghetti in that Flash movie. You know, limp and flavorless. Sorry, Bruce Wayne. I'm pretty much just saying that ever since Alfred kind of left Wayne Manor, you know, the spaghetti just hasn't been up to the standards that Wayne Manor's spaghetti would have brought to the table back in like the late 80s or the early 90s. Right? Like, I'm sure if we were to ask Prince, or the artist formerly known as Prince, if the spaghetti was better at Wayne Manor during the 90s or after the 90s, I'm sure that Prince, I don't know what Prince would say. I don't really know that much about Prince, other than Prince made the whole soundtrack for that Batman movie. But that's right. Bat Dance. That's right. You probably forgot, but your brain didn't. Bat dance. Oh no. It's like that whole soundtrack is just Prince. There's like a couple songs that are done by Danny Elfman, I'm pretty sure. But then like everything else is done by Prince. Including the song, like Party Man, right? And then like Joker's coming in, dun, 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 he's got the paintbrush, right? And Party Man is painting on everything, they're like throwing paint at all this different stuff, right? Kind of like this. Kind of like this. Kind of like this. Except for more jokery. In like the Jack Nicholson style way. You know, Knack Jickelson styles. Oh boy, that stroke is going to be hitting on pretty hard soon, isn't it? Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. We do a little bit of trolling. Just a little. Just a wee little bit, you know, of trolling. We do a little bit of trolling here. Just gotta see if there's anything I missed here in chat. Saw it live at this fancy opera hall. So a little shop of horrors. I think I'm kind of caught up there. I might have not responded and read out every single last thing there, but I believe I'm caught up on it. I could go back and reread every single last thing. Reading's important. That's right. This message was brought to you by the local school board of wherever it is that you live. They reached out to me personally, and they said, Slathe, you can't tell anybody that we did this, so that's why you have to not disclose who we are and just give it a vague description. With some kind of over-encompassing, impossible level of qualification to it. And I was like, okay, lay it on me, school board. And they were like, you need to get these people to read. Otherwise, we're gonna have a South Park situation of iPad proportions. And I was like, you know, that is a cause I can get behind. And I'm going to help you, school board. And so then we teamed up, right? We had like a council of different like lawyers and script writers. We got some of the people that used to work with Conan O'Brien, and then together we were able to come up with kind of like how the color red makes people hungry, but the equivalent of that, but for reading. And we practiced it day and night, and then eventually, once it was mastered, perfected, once it could not have gotten any better than it already was, that's when we rolled it out. Right now, today. This is like secret HARP level experiments, except for in regard to the education board / division of wherever it is that you locally live. And them wanting to bring up reading and reading participation and readership and readery all across the world, regardless of where you live. So if you're in America, yeah. And if you're in like the UK, why not? Sure. This applies to everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in the moon. For some, I don't know, for some reason we got people on the moon that are illiterate, right? Why should we care any less about the moon people that can't read than the people in Arkansas or the people that are in Transylvania, right? Everybody needs to learn how to read. If I can read, then you can read, and everybody can read. That's what I heard in this movie called Reedy. It's where this guy called Reedy Creedy, he went to a reading competition, and he lost the first time, right? But he came back even better the second time, because he read everything the first time, so he knew what to read this time, so he didn't make the same mistakes. And then he was totally better at reading the second time, and then he won, and then he became known as the Reading Rainbow. But don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it, though. Okay? Go read it yourself. Probably sitting there like, what am I listening to? What was that? So that's where Reading Rainbow comes from? That is the origin story of Reading Rainbow. Right? If there was gonna be, like... You know how everything has to have the gritty, dark, realistic reboot or explanation as to how it exists? That's it. That's it right there. Right? One day on the Enterprise D, Geordi LaForge was working on the transporters when somehow, unknown to him how it happened, he was sent to our world, where he created Reading Rainbow. Why? Because that's the simplest answer. Also, it would be one that would be much, much, much less awkward than choosing LeVar Burton from Roots. But I digress. So, Geordi changes his name to LeVar Burton, and then creates the program Reading Rainbow to be able to set up Starfleet in the future. Because what's in the Reading Rainbow? Yellow, blue, red, the 3 colors of the divisions of Starfleet. Geordi would be sending a message to his crewmates and his people forward through time. I'm safe, I'm here, Reading Rainbow. Don't take my word for it. And then Data would be on the panel. There's a frequency that's coming through, Captain. Put it on screen. Why don't I see anything? It's an audio frequency, sir. Enhance. Da-da-da. Okay. Okay. Alright. I am not entirely sure what is wrong with what's going on up here upstairs, but I'm having fun with it. As long as you're having fun with it. I'm not gonna kink shame. There's the story of Reading Rainbow, which also then ties back into Star Trek, The Next Generation specifically, because of the Enterprise D. That's right. It's although, you know, I guess it's like the idea that Geordi started Reading Rainbow instead of doing a STEM field. So, Mr. Jordan LaForge, you say your name is? How do you happen to be reading these books on this program when you seem to be blind? Oh no, I'm not blind. My eyes work perfectly. And he's got those he's got those glasses with like the drawn-in eyes. That's what we've been looking at this whole time. None of us noticed. We all just accepted it, like Doctor Who's psychic paper. The psychic paper was kind of a fun thing in Doctor Who. Although, just thinking back on it, because it's been a long time since I watched Doctor Who, because, like everything, and this is just going to be the pessimist in me for the moment. I mean, enjoy it if you want to, right? But to me, a lot of these things stopped being the fun that I remember a long time ago. You know, oh, that's right, old man, the future is now! It's not your time, it's not your grandfather's Doctor Who. Okay, boomer. Like, I was born in the 80s. Yeah, that's right. No cap. Somehow I plan on making this all as ridiculous as possible. Somehow he came in with a plan he didn't even know he had from the start.
Welcome to the stream, everyone. This is Slathe the Space Marine, and now narrating about himself in the third person. You see, this man here has probably completely lost his mind. But that is a story for another story. This story isn't about that story. This is the story about whatever it wants to be. Let it be a surprise. Why does everything need to have spoilers? Do you need to have your hand held through the entire experience so you know what's going on? Or are you just able to live in the moment? Each experience, each moment, each feeling, the tone, the emotion, the drama, the passion.
Now it's like turning into that thing from The Running Man. Have you played Stanley Parable? No, I've never heard of it before. Stanley Parable. Oh, the narration reminded you that? Okay. I've had a lot of people tell me that my narration voice, Brother Marines, let's just say, like the... What would I want to say? The pseudo sort of not quite British, not quite Vermont accent? Right?
Brother Marines, we have returned again on this day, Tuesday.
I've had people tell me that that sounds like Rogel Dorn from If the Emperor Had Text-to-Speech, which I am not the voice actor of. Some people think that some people have asked me if I am, and I've had to make it clear, no, I am not. There used to be a time when people asked me if I was Vegeta from Team 4 Star, and I would have to tell them no, but thank you very much for the wonderful compliment. Okay. I'm just gonna get this area. I was considering doing this area here maybe in brass. Although, I think I might just leave them as just kind of having two different tones there. I'm fine with that. One will kind of match the rest of what's on the wing. And then the rest of it, I'm kind of wanting it to be brighter anyway. But I'll probably go over all of it with the brighter stuff. Okay, so we did this. Okay, so now it's going to be these feet. Feet and the door. That's right, feet. I said no kink shaming. Alright. And then... I think I already did this part, right? I already did this with the brighter metal. Like it looks much better now. So that one's this alongside a few other parts. I'm going to move the parts that have already been worked on up to the top. Like this. Like so. And then everything sort of below this thing is going to be what's left. And where did all this water come from? What is going on here? Got our heavy bolters here. I still need, at one point, I need to attach a magnet right there in the center. And then another magnet I need to attach inside the cup that it goes on the under half of the wing. And the reason for that is because this gun, it's designed after one that normally sits in one of the small little APC tanks, but it sits on top of it. So it you know, gravity's not a problem in this case. It just sits there and you can rotate it. But considering this is the exact same design as that, and it goes upside down in a part that might not entirely match up, there's nothing really keeping it there unless you glue it in. So I'm going to go with magnets so that way I can have it in there and then I can also rotate it. That's the real trick here. I want it to be able to go in and rotate. That's the important part. Okay, so let's move all of this here. Right, is this thing gonna be done? Yeah, good enough. I'm gonna move these like this. Just so I can try to squeeze a little bit more room here. Look at that. That's some Tetris Master stuff right there, don't you think? That's right. That is some ultimate Tetris. Which is kind of like ultimate Frisbee, but you're probably less stoned when you're playing it. Or more. Actually, now I can't really decide. Ultimate Frisbee or Ultimate Tetris. Which one would you be more baked out of your mind playing? You know, these are real hard decisions. I think Ultimate Tetris would have more flashy colors and be more appealing to a kind of mentality, while Ultimate Frisbee is going to require you to probably be outside in the summer, in a field, and running around and stuff. A lot of things that maybe might be fun, but likely would be less fun if you were super baked. So that is my argument there over which one or the other. Okay. But getting this sort of planned out is just going to be important for me to be able to determine what I'm doing next and how. At one point I'm going to need to go over these with like probably a smaller brush just so I can get the actual heavy bolters details the way I want them to be. So it's going to line up with my other models, and so that way... See, one of the things that I find really challenging here is that I have to keep cross-referencing. I have to keep, like, going back to older models that I've done, so that way I can go, that's how this gun looks. That's how this looks on this. So that way when the whole collection will be together, there's going to be a rhyme and a reason to why things are the way they are, because and you'll see it lining up between all the different things on the different vehicles and infantry and weapons, depending on who has what and what has where. Then all of that will really fit together. Because if I just go haphazardly and just gonna make them whatever, some people have guns that are all silver, and some of them have like the black casing with silver little parts, and some of them have the silver parts in different areas. It just, at a certain point, it almost just kind of feels like, did you know what you were doing when you look at it? And I don't really want that. I don't want that on in regard to my... I want guys to have a defined look. They look like this. All sorts of armies in this game, depending on which one you're doing, arguably they have a defined look. Arguably, they have a make them look however you want to make them look sort of non-answer approach to it. But ultimately, they have a look, right? So, I'm wanting to have the same thing for my one, because my one's purely custom. Right? It's not one of the default sort of patterns that you can go with that have support for them and specific things. My one's entirely homebrew stew, right? It's got that rat and the Vichyssoise and everything. So I just need to make sure... that I keep that consistency, because it's like you use it or you lose it sort of thing, right? Is sort of the thing. Oh, we got a split vote here. Right now the vote is 50-50. Subscribers only chat. Anyone can chat. Which is fair, because it might not have been clear as to what the subscriber only chat policies were in this Slathedential election. Right? Fortunately, though, you know, the person I'm running up against, which is just me as well, they have the same policies. So... you get your choice of me or me as your Slathedent. That's right. How many terms have we had so far? I mean, this channel's been going since what, like 2007 or 8?
So we've had several terms as Slathe.
Actually, that's only partially true.
That's only partially true. Fact checkers have determined.
Because the channel wasn't called Slathe originally. If anybody knows what the channel's original name was before it became Slathe the Space Marine, oh, that's some extra cred points. You get cred points like from South Park. Because that's really going back. That's really going back. That is going back quite a while. One comforting thought that I've had about this is that even if in the end, if these streams don't show off this model in immaculate detail while I'm working on it, at very least I can take some photos of it later on. Some still photos, and then I can share those over in the Discord. And also, when it's done, of course. You know, then at that point, oh, well, what's it look like now? Well, you're in for a surprise. I also just, the other day, I was trying to figure out how to set up, ever since the, what was it? The channel got approved for the YouTube partner. And sorry if I'm going to be rattling on about this for a bit. I think YouTube told me I'm supposed to. So now Slathe does what a good boy does, and... Alright, speak, Slathe, speak! Ruff! So... I was working on upgrading the Discord server. So now it will reflect... people who are in the server, who have their Discord linked and synced with YouTube. It would give them, in the Discord server, a special role, which would then align with their tier that they chose on the YouTube members. So that's kind of step one. And then I added in a members only voice chat and general chat. I mean, there already is a voice chat and a general chat that anybody can use, but now there's one exclusively for just members. You know, in case they want to, you know, escape the riffraff, all of the lower class. If they want to get past, they want to feel the high culture and sophistication of the Bloodhounds chapter member-only Discord voice chat and general chat. Those exist now. Nothing's been posted in it. Be the first one. Be the first one to post. The thing is, you have to have your YouTube. You have to have your YouTube account linked to your, to your Discord account. Which is something that a lot of people do with, like, Twitch. And I think you can do it with other things, like maybe like Steam or something. So that way when people go to your profile, depending on how you have it set as well, they can look up your other areas, right? They can look up your other areas. You know, they can look up and see, oh, this is their YouTube account. This is their Twitch. This is their Xbox Live or whatever, right? And then you can click it and then get linked to it, and sometimes that's how I end up watching some people's Twitch streams. Where because they have it linked, it will indicate, it'll show on like their Discord status. So-and-so is streaming. Oh, what are they doing? And then you see it and it's like, oh, okay, and then maybe you tune in. Maybe you don't. It's a free country. Depending on which country you're in. It's probably a free country. Let me make that a little bit more global of a statement. More worldly. That's right, here on Slathe the Space Marine, we are all about the culture and sophistication. We're a pretty sophisticated crowd here. So I added that. I wasn't sure what else to add, or if anything, just yet. I'm still kind of figuring it out. I thought it was going to take longer, and I'd get a little bit more time to kind of deliberate and discuss and figure things out of how I was going to set things up. And maybe I should have taken a bit more time, but I figured, you know what? No time like the present. You're not going to seize those DMs. You need to seize them. Seize the DMs. That's what you need to do. So I seized it. I seized that DM. Damn. You know, with this piece, I think I might even be fine with leaving it like this. Some things I don't think are going to need the highlight as much as other things. Also, that way, if not everything is given the highlight, the same sort of brighter metal highlight, then it has a little bit of variation as well in what the metallics are going to look like. It's not going to have them all sort of end with the same sort of finish. You're going to recognize, your brain's going to go, that metal, that shiny, right? But when you see the two different ones next to each other, or not, rather, but when you see them on the same piece, which will be the full model, they'll look like two different things, sort of thing, is the kind of the point. Even if it's done with the exact same color as the base here. If one gets, like, you could have the same metallic and give it a wash, so it's been given a kind of like a dark stain, which acts as kind of artificial shadows that you're painting in. or as grease, or as muck, or as all sorts of things, to be absolutely fair. It doesn't have to just be exclusively shadows. But it acts as a shade, is essentially... It helps create more definition in the model. Some people would refer to some washes like, I think it was Agrax Earthshade, or it might have been Null Oil, one of them. The nickname for it was Liquid Skill, because you could paint your model, let's just, very beginner level, and then you apply some of this dark wash onto it, and then suddenly it looks so much better. Just because it's got so much more definition to it. So, it became known as Liquid Skill. I don't have anything on the table right now. I don't have any Liquid Skill. I'm just using raw skill. Slathe skill. Slathequid skill. That's right. Liquid Slathe. That's right. That is not Solid Slathe. Stop impersonating him. Okay, so now... if I can just very carefully get a little bit of silver here. And then just go about this thing. I probably should be using that ever so slightly smaller brush too. But fuck it. I live dangerously. Okay, if I can just get one more pass on this, because it looks like some of the spots are red. Okay, now just do the same thing on the other side, and then we're golden for this part. I feel like this might be tougher, just because on the other side it had the benefit of there being the red hull. Oh, sorry for rubbing the mic against the gooseneck there. So sorry for the shaky cam and the kaplunky mic. These are technical terms, by the way. These are technical scientific terms, proven to be accurate and well known. And not something that I just made up. Okay. So that's pretty well that piece kind of done. Probably not going to be doing too much with that. I don't know, I could highlight maybe those things, but I don't think that it's going to be as beneficial to be highlighting those pieces, to be honest. There's other pieces that I think would benefit from it much more. Okay, so what's left now? Now it's just going to be the landing gear, this door section, and then these guns. And then after that, I'm going to start opening up the brighter silver, and then probably doing a little bit of a highlight on some of these pieces. And this one should be pretty well done by this point, in the sense that I could even just start... I have them all sitting on this, like, I don't know, what is this, like a WD-40 sort of stick? And I could just kind of because they're all just very lightly glued on there. Just break them all off, take a little bit of the paint off the top, and then go to all those, like, octopus cups that were all over the rest of it, and start gluing these in. This is the part that faces outward. So it's this part on the that goes on the inside. So that's even kind of fine as well. And I did it this way just because it would be easiest to paint these things like this. This thing looks like some kind of antenna or something. If people thought that this was some kind of antenna or something that the ship actually has like this, I don't blame you. This is actually just a bunch of individual thrusters that are meant to be all over the ship that I just put on this one thing for easy painting. Big thunk. So, where are we at now? So we just have these, like, few pieces here. These ones will be really quick. This will be really quick. I'm still unsure of what I want to do with this door. Like, well, now that while I'm here, I'm just going to talk this out. Okay, there's this area up here that I might want to hit with some black paint or maybe some silver paint or something. But this is all just very just splashed against it, and it's fine like that too. Like, who knows what it looks like in there. But there's going to be areas like there's like this button panel that I'm going to need to do. I don't know what these cables are going to be. Are they going to just be silver or brass, or are they going to be like plastic coated cables? And then there's this door. This door which I am somewhat going, it might be kind of neat if I did that door in hazard stripes. This door that no one's ever going to see unless they open the door at the front and they look inside the Thunderhawk and they like flash a fucking flashlight back there and they're like, oh yeah, wow, that door is in hazard stripes, wow. That's what I'm wanting to do. Why? I don't know. Why? There is no why. Do not ask why. Clear your mind of questions. Okay? There is just do or do not. And there is no why. And then there's also, like, on the other side, it looks like there's, like, some, like, elevator call buttons there. Like, up and down. Some other little round buttons there. Little, like, screen there or something. There's lots of, like, tiny little details on this. That at one point it might be nice to just go, like, hey, let's work on just this one piece. And then we put a bunch of details into it. You know, we'll see. Maybe we might get that done, some of that stuff done tonight if I'm going on for long enough. You might get some of these little details in there. It's possible. We could. We easily could. Nothing's stopping us. Okay. But for now, just get the gunmetal. Oh, there's still some on here on the pallet, isn't there? Well, that would be a waste if I just let that sit there. Okay, let's carefully get these heavy bolter emplacements. I don't know what to call these. The rings. The rings of power. Starring Eminem. Okay, I'll say that those are probably fine. This one looks fine. It already looks better than this. It already looks like it's got a little bit more shine to it. So let me just get these last 2 pieces here. And then that'll be that for that stage. Which is good. Because then I can work onto it on a different color. Finally! And that different color being a brighter metallic. So just metallic but brighter. Wow, who knew? Who knew? But it might be a good idea to do some highlighting with that. Makes the edges look a little bit more worn when they're a little bit brighter. Right? Like if you think of like a knife or a gun or a toy, you know, all these are usually the center part's darker and then the edges are a little bit white or a little bit lighter because of like wear and tear over on the edges. That kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. I'm just going to pretend that it makes sense. And just hope that it does. Okay. Let's get a little bit of this on here. We're not even going to need much if it's just these 2 pieces. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like on this pass, there's a lot of the areas that I missed before, which I kind of liked the way that it looked. They're getting kind of filled in. But that's fine, because a lot of these areas will get darkened later on anyway. When the wash hits them. And by the wash, I don't mean the movie with, like, Dr. Dre. Just to make that clear. Which is, it's not a bad movie. I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, it's got a pretty good soundtrack. If you like, you know, that early 2000s rap and hip-hop sort of genre, you'll enjoy this movie. The Wash. Get it on VHS or DVD. So I'm pretty sure that's how it was available. It's probably available on other things now, too. But, just to make it really feel special and old, get it on one of those. Okay. So that looks like that. That looks like that's done to me. So now it's going to be a matter of using the brighter silver. And you know what? This is going to be another step where I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm just going to be going off of, like, hunches and educated guesses. And there's, like, some kind of buzz going on here. Like, is it my hat? Something's messing up with, like, the headset. So when I talk, all of a sudden it's like... Bzzz. Maybe I just need to get a new headset, because I think the headset's also dying. Well, that's fine. We can figure that out. This one's been pretty good. This one served me pretty well. It was pretty nice. I thought these were kind of neat. Wait, did it just turn off? I thought it was kind of neat how it changes colors and stuff. So, fully supportive of it. It reminds me of Super Metroid. Super Metroid. That's the game where you play as the bounty hunter, Samus Aran, after she had returned from planet SR-388 after defeating all the Metroids and then bringing back the last surviving Metroid to the scientists, who then were working on it, but then were then massacred by Mother Brain and her space pirates, specifically Ridley, who stole the baby Metroid and brought it back to planet Zebus, so that way Mother Brain could try to clone it and create new Metroids called Matroids. So then Samus has to go and hunt down the baby Metroid and defeat Mother Brain and her space pirates, and to get all of their like souls and put them into a statue. And then she like absorbs the Metroid's ghost and then gets like super rainbow powers. Super Metroid, it's awesome. Try it out. Super Metroid, you'll love it. And I'm guessing with this I'm just gonna want to be doing edges and things, right? This is just going to be going along edges. I don't know if I'm going to be needing to go across areas like... Do I need to go across these edges? Or do I just need to go across the outside edges? And I might want to dismantle this. Just a little bit. Just for now. Which, oh no, you can see the bare plastic. Resin. Whatever. But I'll do that just so that way I can get the edges of both those sides. Because those are going to be parts that are... gonna look like they'll move, sort of thing. They're gonna look like they're parts that come into contact. So I'm gonna want to have them to have a little bit of weathering on that, right? Oh wow, this really needs to get shaken up. Okay, we might be here for a while just shaking paint. If you want to support me if you want to support me in my paint shaking, please type ghost wank in the chat. It would really help. Helps me know that what we're doing here has a purpose. It's ghost wank. I'm gonna have to get that on, like, if I get merch, I'll have to get that on a cup. And it's just, it'll have like a pot of paint with like with paint coming out of it, and it'll just, at the bottom, it'll just say Ghost Wank. Not available in the UK, sorry. They won't appreciate it there. They'll get all stuffy. They'll get all upset about it. Oh no, that's still looking like it needs more mixing. It's like it all like settled at the bottom. So it just kind of looks like this pearlescent. I'm gonna try it at like an angle. If I try shaking the pot at an angle, hopefully it'll kind of kick up whatever's at the back there. Try it right side up. Try it with the other hand. You know, you get tired. Turn it around upside down with the other hand, right? You sit on one hand until the hand falls asleep, then you shake the paint with that hand and it feels like no one's shaking it. Alright, how's this looking now? That's looking better. Alright. Let's get some of this ghost wank here on the palette. start with this one. And I'm just going to bring this across these edges. Now I'm kind of hoping that what I'm doing here isn't going to mess up with that other piece so it doesn't fit in later on. I'm imagining all of the nightmare scenarios the further I get into this. It's like, oh no, I did a tiny little bit of painting and now these pieces won't fit together because of this very ever so slightly thin layer of paint that's blocking them from lining back up. And I'm going on pretty fast and dirty with these highlights. I'm not giving these super thin, super careful, whatever. I'm just kind of going, here's an edge. I highlight it. That's kind of how I'm going here. Which I'm sure is not invalid. I'm sure that this is totally a way to do this. I may even be supposed to go further than this and to apply it over the rest of the body. I just don't know. We'll kind of see it when I'm done doing what I'm doing here. We'll be able to see what it would look like, and it'll be easier to determine if, yes, you should go over the rest of the body with some of that brighter silver, or no, you shouldn't. It should be really clear, one way or the other. For a second I thought the song was about to turn into Fool's Rush in there. Do 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 do. So far, this looks right. I think that's fine so far. Okay. I think that's what we'll go with on that one. I mean, we'll see, but for now, Paris. Okay, so now I'm going to need a little bit more of this. And then do the other side. Fortunately, this side is going to be much smaller than the other one, so it should get done much quicker. Because there's much less area to cover. Because it's just the tail fin. It's just the rudder in the tail fin. That's all this is. If I just kind of keep this up, get a little bit more here on these edges. I may want to do those center panels. And I'm sure there are some people going, but I don't see what you're doing. You're putting silver on top of silver, and I can't see it. And it's... A lot of this is going to be kind of hard to see without probably being right in front of it under certain light. But then when it gets hit by the wash in the end, when everything gets darker, it should be much more noticeable at that point. So this is just kind of prep work to a much later stage. Alright, let's see. Let's put this back together. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna go back in. Wonderful. Looks like this side didn't get quite as done on some of those areas that I was just talking about. I'm just gonna just very quickly dab a little bit there. And just very quickly yeah, once this is all complete, though, it does become a lot more noticeable. I'm noticing. I'm noticing it's more noticeable. I noticed that. Metallics, yes. Not sure what it is about them, but super satisfying. That's right, Nitro. Right now, we are working with the... We just finished, like, all... Whoops, sorry about that. We just finished with all, like, the gunmetal, and now we're on to this, like, brighter rune fang steel, which I'm applying to the model in certain areas, which you may be able to see it, but I'm putting like highlights on like the edges And I'm not even being careful about being super thin about them, so like, whatever. It's gonna look how it looks in the end. This ain't no golden demon, bruv. So we're gonna just get some of these pieces. But actually, at this point, with what's left, there's not gonna be a lot left after this, other than going to some of the more fine details. Kind of some... After this, when we're done all these metallics, we're pretty well done with metallics at this point. I will be returning to it for, like, the canopy and stuff like that. But, like, you know, but that's kind of a special piece. For now, this is pretty much it. At the end of this one, this is going to be it for metallics. Until we have that triumphant hurrah return to metallics for one short little stint. Where we're working on, like, the cockpit and the canopy and, like, the pilots and stuff like that. Because the Marines are going to have some silver on them, and the canopy frame is going to have silver. I'm sure there's going to be stuff inside the cockpit that hasn't already been done. I'm just going to just apply over this with this brighter one. Just go over it, it's fine. Let's see, how different does it look? Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that for these. I kinda didn't mean to start off that way, and then it just went that way. So we're just going with brighter metallic done over darker metallic. There we go. That's those pieces. They're gonna just be really shiny. That's what I went with. Some of these, that's exactly what I was going to be doing anyway, though. Like, on some of these, it's not really... I don't know if it's really going to be desirable. It's just... I'm just going to be wanting to go over top of it. I wanted to have that metal base coat, which would help start it off. And then go over it with the brighter metal. So that way it reflects better. Which, now that I'm doing this piece here, this reminds me there's another piece that I'm probably going to want to do a little bit of the brighter gunmetal with. Which is going to be the back end where these things go over top of. I'm saying that as in probably, but not necessarily. I don't think it would be super required. But I want these flaps to be really shiny on the inside. Okay. And there's still parts that I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing with. Like, once again, this. I don't know if I want silver everywhere, like on the door. I might make this all kind of highlighted with silver here, but the door I might leave out. Okay, Demon Cat. What are you doing? I swear, Tony. I swear, every time. Every time I start up. We got Demon Cat here. Yeah. Alright, here, I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put this up for you, Tony. So everyone can see. Demon Cat. Alright, that helps. We'll just put him in a little bit of a other room timeout for a moment. Let him think about what he's done. Meanwhile, he'll get out of cat jail. Some of his abilities will have lowered in level. But it's fine, because they're easily recoverable. It's mostly in acrobatics. Okay, let's move these back up to here. And then it's going to be, so gun. I'm going to leave this for last. These I'm going to say are pretty much already done. They don't really need another highlight. These will. And so I will put this here. I don't know what I'm doing with these, so I'm going to put those right there. This here. 1, 2, 3. There we go, looking good. Tony will think about what he's done and applaud himself. That's right. He'll watch himself on the VOD later and he'll be like, damn, I am one handsome cat. He is. I mean, look at him. So I think next I'll try to get... I'm gonna try to get the edges of these things and these teeth. And then maybe if I can, the edges of, like, this. Although it's probably not entirely necessary that needs to be super highlighted. It might be nice just on a couple of these spots. Just to get some light highlights. Just a little bit. Doesn't need to be super. On these, I might just go flat out all over it, just because I want them to be really bright and shiny. So I'll just give them like a once-over Hawk Tuo with that bright silver. I think that'll be the best method. What are we on now? We're on about 2 hours. It's turning about 11. So we probably have another hour at this. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, I was a bit late today because my day was a bit different. Where instead of working in the morning, I was working later in the evening for a short shift. Because I needed to make a quick trip to the doctor in the morning. Which ended up like needing me to take the whole day off because zero flexibility, but whatever. Which is kind of silly. I have to take the whole shift off and then add like a shift in the evening. I can't just like push it back. So that's why the stream is on a little bit later tonight. And let's see, can we get some of this bright silver? Let's just get this all over this thing. I think that's going to make the difference there with this thing. I think the next time I look at these, it'll be noticeable that they're a brighter, sort of less, I don't know, what do I want to say, greasy or smoky sort of silver. Even with just that, like I'm not even needing to be doing some sort of crazy highlighting technique. On that area, it's all just a bunch of rounded, smooth areas, so I'm not really... There's not really a whole lot of areas to properly do edge highlighting on that. I'm just gonna brighten it up with that brighter metallic, and then that should make it look how I was wanting it to. And then... what next? Let's get some of this. And then on this thing... I'm gonna go for some edge highlights there. What's great about a lot of these details is that a lot of these details get like buried in sort of the... They get kind of lost in the story of things. This vent right there is one of those things that you'll never really ever see. But it's there. So let's say if you had some kind of weird mirror set up with a magnifying glass and a light, and you have the whole head contraption so you can look at all these things with like the plumbing snake, like you're doing surgery on this model, then yeah, maybe you'll be able to see that. But otherwise, you're never gonna see that. But you never know. There's some people that are pretty nuts out there, so you might as well paint it. Otherwise, who knows? You might get in trouble. How come you didn't paint that part, huh? I noticed you didn't paint this part right here. You ruined this model. Let's get a little bit of that. Let's apply it there. 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 Tips. Just the tips. I don't know if there's even anything on this palette anymore. I'm just kind of hoping that there's going to be some of it, and then you just get it on there. And then that should hopefully bring up that thing's color and metallic look a little bit more. So hopefully that's going to look better in the future. I'll just let that sit like that. Hopefully it doesn't fall over. Now the Space Marine chimney. Or is that me? Ah. So let's see, what's the chat saying right now? Open to anyone. Open to anyone. Are we just gonna go democracy with this, like in Pokemon? Like when Twitch plays Pokemon, or what was it? Like Omegle plays Pokemon? Or Omega catches Pedomon, or whatever it was? Omegle. That's a fucked up place. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. That's right. Omegle. That's definitely a thing. No one thought that would be a problem when they thought up that. They're like, this is genius. We just get people to just randomly chat roulette with people. You mean like chat roulette? No. Like Omegle. Wow. This is totally different than chat roulette. You're right. There's less people masturbating. You're right. For now. For now? Well, I mean, eventually they're gonna find out about this place and they're gonna come here and start masturbating. No, that's impossible. They would do that over on chat roulette. Not here on Omegle. Well, you see... yes, they will. What are we talking about? We're talking about Omegle perverts. Why are we talking about Omegle perverts? Well... because just talking about the absurdity of the world we live in sometimes, just a little bit of that, just gives you that reminder, you know? Maybe that black pill's not that bad. Screw the red pill or the blue pill, just take the black pill. Just take the black pill, it's fine. It's way better. It's got music, it's got culture, sophistication. Alright, so what's gonna be next? The feet. I'm gonna want to do the feet next. Then probably this. Then... oh. Okay, gotcha. Don't fall over. I'll put you somewhere. I'll figure it out. You'll go... right here. And you'll be fine like that, and you're not going to cause any problems. So it's going to be these, then this, then this, then these, and then I'll... by that time, hopefully I'll decide what to do with that. Alright, I'm going to... wait, can I... how many polls can I have? Oh, just one. Alright, well I'll close this one. Because chat tonight is generous to all the people that aren't members. Or even subscribers. Chat is like anybody can chat. Anybody. 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 Wait, you know what? Wait, now I kind of want to play a song. I just don't know. I'm sure I'm going to get demonetized if I do it. For this video, which is, you know what, which is fine. I don't really care that much. Let's see. Blues Brothers. Okay, let's go for it. I'm gonna get in trouble for this, aren't I? Sure, I'll take the black pill. Q down with the sickness. Ooh, wah. I wonder if I could get away with playing down with the sickness. We can only find out. Worst thing that'll happen is that, you know, YouTube and Google will go, we won't put ads on your video. That's my understanding of it. That's the worst that would happen. Well, no, the absolute worst that would happen would be like a copyright strike. That's the absolute worst. Let's be real about our terms here. Play Minnie the Moocher. Let me let you know about Minnie the Moocher. I forget how that song kind of goes, to be honest. It's something like that. It's something like that. That's not quite it, but it's something like that. Blues Brothers 2000 was never my favorite. I know, this is probably disappointing news for a lot of people. I didn't really like Blues Brothers 2000. There's a lot of movies with 2000 in them that I don't like. I want to say most movies that had 2000 in the title to try to make it a thing are pretty irrelevant movies that probably didn't need to be made. Dracula 2000, Heavy Metal 2000. You know what technically gets around that rule? 2001, A Space Odyssey. Because if they were to make 2001, A Space Odyssey 2000, that wouldn't, one, have made any sense. And two, only probably would have marginally made more sense. But only because the beginning of the movie would then be being explained for some because of the timing of this movie, right? This is how it would go. The start of 2001: A Space Odyssey 2000 would be the daughter of the main character from the first movie, the guy that turned into the space baby at the end of the movie, would then recant and talk about how her dad was turned into a space baby. And then it would proceed to explain how she was the one that the space pylons were waiting for the whole time. And she would then use her knowledge of her dad, the space baby, to defeat the I don't know, the gorilla people at the start of the movie. That would be 2001: A Space Odyssey 2000. I think that description pretty well lines up with any movie that is a franchise plus the number 2000. I could be a little bit off on that one, but I think my numbers add up. I did some math, and I think that my numbers add up on that one. But if someone wants to check my numbers on that one, I am fine with getting double checked on that in case I was off. Right, but I think the calculation is it stands on its own merits. Okay, Demon Cat. Demon Cat is clawing there at the doors of the other room, which I suppose you could look at as like his cat prison, where he's in the other room. He's now clawing at it. You can the whole picture and the terminology really makes it like really sells it, right? That he's Demon Cat and he's like clawing at the doors of where he's been locked away to, sealed away to protect humanity and my sanity. That's right. He's such a good boy. He's such a good boy until the moment that I start streaming. Then he's like, now. And then he turns into Robin from Batman Forever doing backflips off of the walls. Right? Didn't Robin in that movie, when you kind of think back on it and the way he acts inside that house, didn't he kind of act more like Woody Woodpecker than a Robin? Right? You could almost, the door closes, Alfred's walking away. Guess who? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he's practically like bouncing off the walls. But then again, you know what? That sounds like most people in these Gotham City stories, doesn't it? Most of these people are bouncing off the walls in that city. Let's be real, right? I'm surprised that most of these characters in Batman stories aren't like they don't come equipped with diapers, because these people are absolutely batshit. Batman made him Robin to give him an outlet to burn off that energy. I'm thinking, yeah. I mean, really, Batman made him Robin. Actually, he didn't make him Robin. Alfred did. Alfred made him Robin in that movie. Excuse me there, Nitro. Alfred was the one that was encouraging him and told him not to get rid of his suit, and built him a new suit in secret without Bruce Wayne knowing, and it's all in like Batman tech, but it's a Robin suit, like his Flying Grayson's suit. And of course, no one would connect the dots, right? Of course, the Flying Graysons, who, you know, seem to allegedly be some type of famous circus troupe, they all die, and then suddenly this hero who's roughly the same age as the only surviving Grayson son is wearing the Grayson circus outfit colors and pattern. Everything's the same except for its Batman leather armor with bat nipples. And oh, looks like there's an injector port right there. I'm gonna have to get rid of that. I think that in those movies, the thing that really makes me wonder, right, is at what point did, quote, Uncle Alfred get his nephew's measurements, including her cup size, to make her a Batgirl outfit, but not just one Batgirl outfit. He also had the foresight to make her an ice version of her Batgirl outfit, so that way, in case Batgirl, his nephew, his niece, in case she happened to also be Batgirl and was fighting an ice-based villain. See, Alfred has some hell of he has some foresight. Alfred knows what's going on, apparently. This is why I think the whole theory where all of the crime in Gotham is actually run and masterminded by Alfred, and Alfred is doing this to serve Bruce Wayne because Bruce desperately needs this. So Alfred sets up all the crime, which means that Alfred also knows when the crime is going to happen and who's going to do it. So when he then got his niece involved in the Bat shenanigans, he knew to make her an ice suit because he knew that Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, was going to show up and have an ice day. And then so he made her the frosty bat suit. Which I have to point out that both Batman and Robin's costume in that movie both have bat nipples, but Batgirl's costume seems to have the bat nipples omitted for some reason, and I just have to say I think that that's just unfair, right? Like, don't you think that we should have like a hashtag free the bat nipple, right? Because bat girls and bat women should be able to have their bat nipples seen too. That's what I have to say about that. Right? This is a very serious issue that affects at least 1 or 2 out of like 20 different bat family members. And it just seems wrong. It's possibly, I think it could be possibly signs that Batman may not be a totally supportive environment for all bat people, right? In particularly bat women and bat females, right? If suddenly the Batmen and Robins are allowed to have bat nipples, then it really raises some questions why the Batgirls and Batwomen aren't. That's all I gotta say about that. Those Batman movies, including Batman Forever, were basically just a bad acid trip that tried too hard to be a comic book like. You know what? I actually, I think it was about a year ago, I had this conversation come up where it pretty much started with, oh, the Batman movies. Oh, man, we're not going to be watching Batman and Robin. That's like the worstest one. Why is that? Why is it the worstest Batman movie? Tell me your thoughts here. Why is this movie so bad? Well, it's like so campy and unserious and it's not dark. It's not dark in tone like the Tim Burton movies. Oh, it's not dark like the Tim Burton movies. Okay. So I pretty much challenged this guy to let's watch all the Batman movies in reverse order. And by the end of this, I want you to tell me which one's the best and why. So we start with, and we kind of just started with like the Joel Schumacher ones, and then the like we didn't watch all of the Dark Knight and all of that. It was kind of going backwards from when Batman movies were this certain sort of set of Batman movies. And we watched through Batman and Robin, and of course, you know, all the jokes get said. We watched through Batman Forever, and it's like, oh yeah, this movie's ever so slightly better. Val Kilmer's kind of better than George Clooney. And these are kind of just the conversations, you know. And of course, like once again, all the jokes about these movies. The Bat credit card got brought up, all the stuff. And then it gets to the Tim Burton movies. And of course, at this point, you already know the energy in the air, where it's, oh, well, the Tim Burton movies were darker. That made them, like, betterer or something. They weren't campy and silly, like the way that Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones acted in Batman Forever, and the way that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Uma Thurman were in Batman and Robin. It's much darker than that. Okay, is it? Okay. So then we get to Batman Returns. That's the one with the Penguin and Catwoman and Maxwell Shrek and all these characters, right? And suddenly, from the word go, the whole argument suddenly becomes clear. Where in like the opening sequence, Batman's not only fighting an army of a gang of clowns, but there's also like slapstick sound effects going on when he's like punching people and doing things, right? So Batman is like punching clowns in the face with like whoop 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 sound effects and stuff, and he's like slapping dynamite on people and smiling in this like, you know, this silly way. Clearly it's a joke. There's lots of jokes inside the fight scenes. And then like scenes like the Penguin riding on a yellow rubber ducky mobile. Oh, these movies are so dark and serious in tone. The Tim Burton ones, they're so dark. They're so dark here. Catwoman falling in the kitty litter. Kitty litter, saved by kitty litter. The whole movie is pretty ridiculous and full of Tim Burtonisms just everywhere. Max Schreck is the Tim Burton character of the movie. Catwoman is the undead woman whose body is sewn together woman from a Tim Burton movie. Think of a Tim Burton movie. Does it have a woman that's a zombie who also happens to be sewn together and looks like a rag doll? Wow. Which one did you just think of? All of them? So, Catwoman fits to that role. So, suddenly, these movies, you can look at it and go, well, okay, well, shit. This isn't quite as serious. Well, clearly Batman's going to be darker in tone. Let's watch Batman. It's got to be darker in tone. Tim Burton was more reserved in that movie. We are talking about the movie with the Joker in it, right? Where the Joker, despite you could say, well, those are all in with his character, and sure, they might be. But he did have a giant balloon parade that looked ridiculous. He did slap paint all over a museum to the soundtrack of Prince, right? To a Prince song there. Silly Michael Keaton jokes about soup and salt and pepper and never being in. There was lots of little comedy. So yeah, it was a little bit more drab, but there was some parts. There were some parts that you could say, Even the parts where he punches the Joker and he drops the teeth on the ground. Chicka, chicka, chicka. At this point, this is reaching literal fucking slapstick comedy at this point. So then we have one movie after that. Batman, the movie. With Adam West and Burt Ward. And by the time that those credits came up, this friend said, you know what, Slathe? You're right. Batman the movie with Adam West is the best one out of all of them. And it's probably also the most camp. But it also owns that it's camp. It knows that it's camp. And it's not trying to be anything that it's not. It's not trying to be a super edgy, dark, and shadowy, dreary thing while also being a slapstick comedy. It just is absurdity on its head, and it knows it, and it plays to that. And by the end of it, you're going to feel so much more satisfied watching Batman the movie than any of the other Batman movies in that range. And that's pretty much my rant about the Batman movies. That's pretty much it. I thought it was weird when they were like, Batman's a ninja now, and he was trained by Qui-Gon Jinn. It was like, oh no. His Batmobile, he didn't make it himself. It's made out of military technology that he took from Wayne Corporation for the war in Iraq. And it's like, oh my god, no, stop. So, yeah, there's my Batman. There's my Bat rant. Bat rant. Bat rant. Okay, let's see if I can get the edges of these door bricks. I don't know what to call these things. Let's dupe. Let's dupe. Dupe. Wait, isn't Dupe the organization from, like, what was that show? It was like Legally Spies or like Teen Spies or something. It was some kind of like Italian or French show, or it just kind of looked weird. And it was essentially a cartoon knockoff of Charlie's Angels. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, and I'm not just Berenstain Bearsing this, please let me know. I appreciate your input. Break it down now. And that doesn't even open up the floodworks on the Superman movies with Christopher Reeves. And then that one that they, what was it? Superman Returns, which was meant to be like a direct sequel to the Christopher Reeves movies. The one where that poor actor was told, don't do anything, just be Christopher Reeves as Superman. You know, like, don't get creative. Just do the thing. Play Superman from these movies. That must have sucked. Where you're not even able to kind of bring your own interpretation or whatever. The only thing you're really bringing is going to be, like, your face and your voice, which are not going to probably not going to one-to-one match a completely different person. These are just facts of life. Okay, these were pretty brutal highlights here. And I maybe... Okay. The audio stream's current bitrate is 0. I don't know what that means, YouTube, but thank you for the information. I'm sure that that is helpful to somebody somewhere. If I just add just a tiny bit of this to the edges here without going outside of this. And then flip this over. And then if I can, do the same thing on this side. It doesn't even need to be perfect. It just needs to be. Okay, if I can rest this somehow. Okay, that seems fine. That seems fine for now. Kane seemed fine. Okay, now I'm going to try to go for these. Oh. Knocking stuff over. Getting clumsy. Okay, now if I can get the edge of this. Edge of that. This part's gonna be tricky here. Alright, and then that. That. And that. Okay. That looks rather brightened. Okay. That looks good. Now let's go for the other one, and then it's just going to be just around the edges. Just to go, I suppose this would be a form of weathered highlight, although very simplified. I'm not parading this thing around as some advanced technique here. Okay. Those are a little bit brighter. These silvers are looking a lot better now that they're having a lot of those edge highlights here. You can kind of... I think you can kind of see it. And then I got these now, right? Those look gotten. Okay. So all of these are done. So then I guess the next would be the... Where am I going now? This and this. These would be the last two pieces. Oh, wait, didn't I already do this one? No, I did the tail, I did the tail fin. This part here looks like... Oh no, I swear I did. I did do this one. Didn't I? Or I did it with the other metal, didn't I? That's what it was. That's what it was. Whew, boy, that thing looks intense. And then this thing, I'm not sure what's going to go on with this thing. Maybe I'll want to do like the trim to the door here, and then maybe some of the trims around. Oh, Some of the trims around things. This. All this paneling and stuff. I'm still unsure what I want to do with this door. I'm not sure if anybody's listening still. If you're all passed out, that makes sense. Well, here, let's put this in chat. Start a poll. Should internal door be silver or hazard stripes? There we go. Put a poll up there. We got like another half an hour. It doesn't hurt. What is that, a spider? Some kind of something directly above me. Yeah, that was spider. Oh, spider! Okay. I'll leave this here. Do this part next. It's not gonna, like, drop down on me, is he? Come on, Mr. Spider. Please don't drop down on me. That would be really weird. I would have very much appreciated if you didn't. Please. Okay. Thank you. This one's gonna jump down and jump scare the camera. This is Slathe the Spider Marine. I'm taking over the channel. And okay. These edges, most of these edges are gonna end up getting hidden, but it's probably better to get them now than to not get them in the event that maybe they won't be as hidden as I thought. So it's good to get this now while the getting's good. Which is pretty well. And you know what, I honestly, I think this is probably either one of the few, or if not, possibly one of my first highlighting jobs ever. I rarely ever highlight models. I usually just kind of give them like a wash and then maybe do a little bit of like base area color correction. Which would be almost kind of like, instead of a highlight, I usually opt in for more for like a shade around some of the areas. You know, who knows? Things might change in the future. Maybe maybe at one point all of the models that I've finished painting, maybe I'll come back to those later on. Enhance them, you know? Enhance them like CSI or something. But until then, for now, let's just keep onto the task at hand. Because otherwise, if we put too many pies in the oven, none of them are going to taste good. Because there's going to be like a fish pie, and like an apple pie, rhubarb pie, a pizza, and they're all going to be in the oven at the same time. And they're all affecting the way everything else tastes. So you just can't do that. Like, that's not how a restaurant works. That's not how any of this works. So as long as I can get through this with relative quick ability, which is a technical term. I didn't just make it up. Look it up. It's real. Quick ability. If you can't find it, it's just because your dictionary is too slow, or your internet. You're wrapping up for the day, but now you're hungry again with all the pie. Well, nothing wrong with that. Go get some pie. Right? Isn't that what Kay from Men in Black would do? You know, when you've had a bit of a day and you need to figure some things out, you just go get some pie. Right? This sounds like Kay. You know? Kind of like... Oh, there's only just a sip at the bottom here. But this coffee tastes like dirt. That's because it was ground just yesterday. Alright, I'm gonna need a little bit more of this. And then, once again, just going up all these edges. And I'm going on like super thick with these highlights. Like I'm not going on this with any sort of skill involved in highlighting models. Because like I said, this is one of those cases where I have no idea what I'm really doing. I'm just kind of going with it as I see, as I want to. I'm just kind of experimenting here. I mean, all the science has already been done, but now I want to discover it for me, right? Alright, that is looking alright. That's looking better. I think I could do this top a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna call that one done. And then, this door area, that's going to be in the back of the kind of the crew cabin sort of thing. Good to see everyone choose the harder option to paint. Did they? I didn't really look at the poll. Did everybody choose the hazard stripes? It's not going to be that much of a challenge. I'll be able to figure it out. Everyone chose hazard stripes? I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking. There's already a door I have that I am planning on doing in hazard stripes. So I could probably do them at the same time. One of them... Okay, so I guess if this door here that I'm holding... And then there's going to be a door that's directly underneath it. That is the... It's the back hatch to the Thunderhawk. So there's like the front assault door. But then there's also kind of like a back hatch that almost looks like it's for, I guess, like airdropping. So kind of like your... When you're like, kind of like you're paratrooping or whatever. Okay. Now if I can get just the edges here, that'd be nice. And then that is, for now, that's going to be the final step with silver. For now. Like, so there's going to be other stuff with silver later on. But as far as we're looking at it for right now, this is pretty well it. And of course, I'm saying that with the understanding that I'm still going to need to do the canopy. There still might be cleanup that needs to get done. So there's still lots of things that are going to get done in silver later on. But for now, this is pretty well all of it. Oh no, I did forget one thing. Ooh. Okay, and we can do that right now. We still have time, right? Yeah, we still have got like 20 minutes. We got plenty of time. We got lots of time. We got all the time in the world. And that's actually looking pretty good like that. Maybe I can even do those nubs there with some on top of that. Okay. So let's move these aside. These are all, I'm going to say, done. These are all done. Move these up. Move this in here. Yeah, that seems right. There we go. Plenty of room. Okay. So I'm going to want to get these teeth up the top here. And then maybe these kind of teeth here across there. I don't think I'm really going to need it across these stripes. Because I'd have to put it on like one edge and not the other. And then that just seems like it's going to be such a chore. So in other words, I'm not doing that. And you can't make me. That's the new name of the stream. It's not spelt that way, but it's pronounced that way, certainly. It's my hobby and I'll cry if I want to. Okay. Let's get the edges here. If I do this right, and I think I'm getting a little, I'm using a pretty chonker of a brush here for this, which I probably shouldn't be, but I think if I get this part done pretty well, it's really going to sell this look here of these silver teeth. I'm not quite sure what to really call these. That's fine. As long as it's going to keep, create a little bit more definition, it's going to be good. Because one of the things that I pretty much wanted to set out to do from the beginning of this is because when I got this, I appreciated it so much that I wanted the people who got it for me to see that I would put a lot of time and care and thought and dedication into making it, so that way I could make it look as nice as possible, so I would get the absolute most out of the very wonderful and generous gift that I was given. And I plan to live up to that, to the generous gift. So let's just get a little bit of that. Okay, and then these teeth here. Oh, whoops. A little bit much. I might just have to do it like that, considering I've already hit one like that. So just for simplicity. But Slathe, weren't you supposed to use an airbrush? Yeah. Yeah. Evil Slathe. Let's see if I can maybe get one of these edges. Or get something in there. Looks like there was a little bit of room that I could have put these on, because maybe didn't cover those bars up perfectly with that gunmetal. Now I might be able to get kind of like a 50-50 on each of these little strips. So it's going to be like 50% gunmetal, 50% like the highlight metal. And then that might kind of work. Where they're both going to be similar enough that it's not going to look like it's like metallic next to white. It's going to look like two metallics. I'm just kind of quickly rush one of them. I don't think this part's going to matter too much about how I do it. Oh, I missed one. Okay. Well, it'll matter if I do that. Let's see. It really stood out though, which is a testament to this actually made a difference. When I looked at all of them and saw there was one missing. There we go. That gives it some difference of tone and things like that. Looks alright. Okay, so that piece done. Is there anything else? I think that's it for that. And then that's pretty well bringing us up to like the last bit of time here. So we're probably gonna go for, we can ride this out for another like 15 minutes. Because, I mean, this isn't going anywhere. And then we can maybe, I can probably get some other pieces and we can go over what it is that I'm gonna be doing in the future. As for this piece, I'll have to like snap like a picture of it or something. And then maybe try it with Photoshop and kind of see how I want the stripes to go in there. If I want them to be angled straight, like here, let's get this at like an angle there. If I want them to be going down at an angle, sort of thing, across the door, or if I'm wanting kind of like a chevron sort of thing that's going down it, sort of thing, like a chevron, and then like yellow and black chevrons. But we can work on that like another day as well, when like maybe it's going to be working on this piece and working on like the cockpit section, so we can add in things like buttons and like leather seats and hazard stripes. So many things. But just looking at these things now, I want to say these things look way better than they did like a few days ago when it was just the dry brush. Scallop patterns. I have no idea what you're talking about, AR. You're crazy. You're crazy, AR. Oh, you know what? I didn't mention this the other day, and I should have. And I think it should be available, because AR, you were the one that was kind of asking the most questions, which were good questions, because of the recent changes to the channel. You were the one that was asking some really good questions on this. And so one of the answers that I have to your question is that what do you get for your $5 a month? You also do get a monthly free super chat or something in addition to that. Kind of like on other channels, or may not have used to have had, where once a month you get to redeem, this is my monthly thing, and then I think it probably reads it out. I don't know. It probably does, but I don't know. And I think you should be getting one of those every month. Once a month. Just in case you were still wondering. Also, now that you're here, so this is a good time to kind of repeat it. I mentioned it earlier in the stream. I updated the Discord server. So now in the Bloodhounds chapter Discord server, link in the description below, free to join. Now, people who have memberships, your tier of membership will show up in the server, and you will be sorted and sort of ranked differently in the server. And there's also there's like a fledgling seed planted in like the channels of the server, where now there is technically a members only voice chat and general text chat. So it's just kind of the planted seed that will grow that later, but for now there is beginning to lean towards member only sort of content and areas and stuff like that. So I hope that this is answering your questions from the other day. These things exist now. People like these things. People like having exclusive stuff. It's exclusive. I don't know if it's going to be worth it to make, like, here's the Marine level chat. Here's the Sergeant level chat and up. Here's the Captain level chat. Here's the Honor Guard Watch level chat. Here's the Chapter Master level chat. And here's the Emperor of Godkind, Mankind. Here's the Emperor chat. I don't know if that seems like it's going to be really necessary. We'll see if we get there. If there's enough people to warrant that in the future, maybe we'll see. But for now, Paris. So, okay, so let's see, is there anything in here? I'm also going to need to figure out how I'm going to be doing these lights that are on there. I'm thinking for simplicity, I'm just going to want to, like, paint them some kind of white or something. And then that should work, just white. And then just kind of wash over them so then it looks like maybe they're a little bit of like a greasy bulb, greasy white bulb sort of thing. But yeah, these are, I think, are looking alright. I didn't do much with this section. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with these parts that connect, because these parts, I mean, are going to match into the rest of the part on the wing, but I'm kind of torn on if I'm going to keep them silver, or if I might move them to a more of like a warm gold or brass or something like that. Brass, bronze, or gold. For these sort of, I don't know what to call these kind of clasping, the crown part at the bottom here, where the turbine goes into. I was considering doing that in like a brass or gold. Otherwise, I'm just going to do them up in silver. And, which also reminds me, I guess I'm going to have to at one point, I guess maybe I'm not wasn't entirely right on that one. I'm probably going to have to go back and do a highlight on things like the wings. So we could do that another day. Like, things are getting to a point where this thing might be able to get put together pretty soon. If I keep this up at this pace, things might get glued together. So we might be able to look at like a full Thunderhawk. We'll throw it onto like a turntable, like that Hackers movie. Just spin it around. That's what people like to see when they go to movie theaters. They just want to see teenagers clacking on keyboards being spun around on turntables. Hey Tony, cookies, 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 cookies. Treats, please work. You know, I don't know what's up with that. I swear I don't know what's up with that. The alert box doesn't show the fucking super chats or something. But like the Streamlabs one does. I don't know what's the deal with that. That's honestly really weird, and I've not figured it out. If anybody knows what I need to do with Streamlabs or whatever I need to do to fix that, I would prefer it that people's super chats. It was a pain in the butt to get it to pull through, to be honest. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I think like it's probably easier just to go through the YouTube thing, because it's for a lot of people. Oh shit. Okay, that fucking jump scared me. Hey Tony, cookies, 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 treats. Okay, you know what? Well, okay, we'll wrap up here with, well, we're not wrapping up the stream, but we'll wrap up the models here. So I'm just gonna wrap up the station here. We'll be right back, and we'll be right back with a Tony treat redemption. Okay, so give me a couple minutes. I'll put on some brain rot video, just so that way we can figure this out, and we'll let Demon Cat out. Which, by the way, AR, maybe you'll appreciate this. I was trying to get it to talk out the command and summon the pretty boy. Well, all the sound's going into my headset. Only I would have heard it. Unless his sound is his hearing is that sensitive. Only I would have heard it. But that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to put on some. Cats have amazing hearing. That's true. So we'll close this poll off. And it ended with, what are the results here? Hazard stripes. Who knew? And did you say cookies and treats? You're right. It went through my ears and out my mouth. Okay, so that's an image, isn't it? That's definitely a visual image right there. Okay, so I'm going to put on some brain rot for a couple minutes so I can put this stuff away and go get Tony and set up the cat camera down so I can go redeem a cat treat for AR to give to Tony, to Demon Cat, to this one. Right here, this one. So, okay, we'll be right back with that. And so wait, what is this something gonna autoplay something?
Eldar mommy milk. 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 The Eldar mommy milk also have. Eldar mommy milk also have. Eldar mommy milk. Eldar mommy milk. Eldar mommy milk. Everyone go and check out Slathe's channel. 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 The Eldar also have. I'm not making a spreadsheet. Everyone go and check out Slathe's channel. Don't boo me. Don't boo me. Don't boo me. Boo yourself. Don't boo me. Don't boo me. Boo yourself. Boo yourself. Making a spreadsheet. Making a spreadsheet. Slathe's channel. Slathe's channel. Making a spreadsheet. Slathe's channel. Slathe's channel. Slathe's channel. Making a spreadsheet. Channel. Making a spreadsheet. Making a spreadsheet. Everyone go and check out Slathe's channel. That's not good enough. Everyone go and check out Slathe's channel. Everyone go and check. Everyone go and check out Slathe's channel. I don't do this as a job. Everyone go and check out Slathe's channel. Everyone go and check out Slathe's channel. I can't do it. I don't do this as a job. Actually, he does a pretty badass Rogel Dawn voice. So yeah, you should check him out.
Okay. Alright, we got Tony here. Let's also, while we're here, we'll just, oh, okay. Hey, we got Tony. Hello, Tony. Okay, he's got all the garbage that's next to him there. Looks wonderful. Let's drop that. Drop that. That's right. Drop this. Go to the Tony cam. Pure Tony. Nothing but Tony. Unadulterated Tony action. And let's see. AR had wrote and gave $2. This amount is not binding. I'm just going to go with this for the spirit of this evening. And he wrote for Tony, cookies. Cookies. Well, that one just disappeared. Cookies. It's like Beetlejuice, 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 except for then you show up. Whenever somebody says cookies, 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 Tony shows up. Which isn't that bad. That's not that bad. I'm sure people wouldn't really complain if Tony showed up after that. Okay, well, it's looking like it's reaching midnight. It's reaching that Cinderella hour. We're at Cinderella time now. I'm going to be wrapping up. I'll probably just be hanging out before bed. You know, gotta do the day job tomorrow. Yeah. But we should be back normal time tomorrow. Either we'll do hobby or what's tomorrow? Day job. That's right. Gotta do the day job. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. So either we'll have Slathe's Wednesday hobby night in Canada, or we'll have... What's Wednesday? What do I do Wednesdays? Oh, jeez. Command and Conquer days. We could play one of the EA Command and Conquers. We could play Command and Conquer Renegade. That's technically a Westwood title. Technically. So that would be Westwood Wednesday. We could go back and finish some arbitrary quests that don't really matter, probably, maybe, in Fallout 3, but no, I don't think anybody cares. We could play Fallout 1, but I don't think that would be fun on a stream like this. So I don't know if Fallout, the post-apocalyptic role-playing game, would really be the greatest for a stream. Wild West Wednesday. Oh, AR always coming up with these amazing names. Look at this guy. This is why AR, as you can see here in the chat, this is why AR has that beaky helmet. Because he is a true brother Marine of the chapter. Always coming up with ideas and solutions to be able to help push forward. Tactics and machines. That's what the Space Marines have. That's what the Emperor decreed they have. That's what they use. That's what they do. No sickness, no blightness will affect them. They shall know no fear. They shall be steel and they shall be doom. My angels of death. My Space Marines. And... on that note, yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow.